Hey there, viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again, and welcome to my Transformers collection as of March 2021. So, yeah, it's been quite a ride for me as well. I've got over 200 figures now, which may not seem like a lot to quite a lot of you, but to me, well, that's quite a lot for me at least. So, well, yeah. Now, my collection is pretty much displayed in sections. Here, I've got my Generation 1, Generation 2, and GoBots figures, along with some boxes. Here, with my bedside table, I've got some Beast Wars figures. Got my main shelves where I've got my, well, RID 2001, Unicron Trilogy, movies. Pretty much the first movie, Revenge of the Fallen, and well, the first movie and Revenge of the Fallen, as well as a bit of Transformers Prime, and also a bit of RID 2015. And here, along with my Nintendo Switch console and the Nintendo Wii, here I've got my Prime Wars figures. And these two figures, well, I'll get to them soon. But well, let's start with my GoBots figures. Well, if you don't know about the GoBots, they were a line of transforming figures by Bandai / Poppy in Japan and Tonka in the US. As for the UK, I'm not sure who released them in the UK, but I know that they were released as Robo Machine in the UK. But, well, I'm gonna call them by their US names here. So going from front to back, here we have Fightor, Buggyman, Rescue, Road Ranger, Leader 1, the blue version, because there's also a grey variant, Jeeper Creeper. He's got some blue tack there, as this guy's legs are so loose that, well, he often falls over by himself, so yeah. And sorry, my Amazon Echo just interrupted because she's apparently haunted. As I was saying, got Jeeper Creeper, Water Walk, and this is another color variant because normally he's grey and red. Slicks, this is an all yellow variant. Spoons, and the little fork things there are a bit loose now. Here we have Flip Top, and his legs are a bit loose as well. Stinger, Heat Seeker, and two Rock Lord figures, Boulder and Granite. Yes, these two turn into rocks. What Bandai was smoking, I'd like some. Yeah, but I have no idea what they were thinking when they made these Rock Lord figures. But here in the back, we have these three, which are Super GoBots, Psykill, Stax, and Spacey. Psykill is a bigger version of the smaller figure. Stax, well, doesn't have a face pretty much. And Spacey shares, well, his/her name with a smaller figure. The smaller Spacey is meant to be a female, but for this bigger figure, I'm not sure whether to call this version a boy or a female, so I'll leave it up to you. And here I have Courageous, the Power Warrior he's called. This is pretty much a combiner where you can put some of the figures in these little mech suit things and combine it with this little spacesuit thing. And behind Courageous, I have the box for the Generation 2 Laser Optimus Prime figure. And here I've got some DVDs. I'm not sure if you can see them, but it's supposed to be for Transformers Cybertron or Prime. And in there is supposed to be all my instructions. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of instruction booklets in there. Moving up, pretty much we have most of my mainline 84, 85 figures. So, front to back, here we have Outback, Swerve, and Tailgate. These were from the 86 line, although these guys were retools of 84 figures. Here we have Sunstreaker and Mirage. These are both, well, they're knockoffs. They're not official versions of the figures. They're unofficial reissues. But here we have Prowl, Skids, Red Alert, and right there, Inferno. Those for our commemorative series reissues. In the back, although it's a bit dark, here we can see Frost. Albeit with the nose cone section is down, because that's how I prefer to display them. And here we have the Insecticons, Kickback, and Bombshell. As of right now, I don't have Shrapnel, but who knows what the future can bring. Moving up, here we have, well, most of my gimmick figures. So here we have the Jump Starters, Top Spin, and Twin Twist. In between them, we have this little guy named Lube. That's actually his name, I'm not joking. Who's a partner of this guy named Slapdash. Here we have these two, Runabout and Runamuck, who are the Battle Chargers. The Throttlebots, Goldbug and Rollbar. And the Triggercon Ruckus. Here we have Slapdash, who's a Power Master, who requires this guy to transform. And here we have another Power Master, Getaway, who is my most recent review as of this recording. And here we have the Duocon Flywheels, and another Power Master, Double Dealer. Now, as you can see, I forgot to take his Power Master engine out, so, well, if you'll just excuse me. There we go. So, Double Dealer has this guy, Knock, who lets him transform into an Autobot robot, and this little purple bat guy, Scar, who lets him turn into a Decepticon, well, birds. So, yeah. Now, next to Double Dealer, I also have the Pretender Landmine. If I can just... there we go. Here's the Pretender Landmine with his shell. And I also have the Target Master's Scoop with his little partner Hole Punch. Quick Mix with Boomer and I think Ricochet. And Landfill with, I believe, Silencer. And here I have the power plans for a figure that I haven't shown yet. Some tech specs. And the Season 1 and 2 DVDs of the original G1 Transformers show. And the BT disc. But that's not Transformers unless you say that's just like one of the full Cybertron data discs. Moving up, here we have my, well, Transformers the movie figures, if you will, or my 86 figures. Well, I say 86 as in the year 1986. But here we have Cup, the Generation 2 version of Silverbolt, the Predacon Razor Claw, Cyclonus, one of my favorite figures, Ultra Magnus, the Combiner Menasor, who's actually a combination of the Stunticons, because we have Motormaster as the torso, Dragstrip, who's this arm, Dead End, who's this arm, Breakdown, who's this arm, and not arm, leg, sorry, this is when my brain stops working, and Wild Rider, who's this leg, and another favorite figure, Galvatron. Speaking of Magnus and Galvatron, here I have drawings of them that I did in the school, well, a few weeks ago, actually, so probably not the best in my opinion, but I did post these on Facebook and people were really nice to me about them, so yeah, I bet you'll like them as well. And here I also have Rodimus Prime. So I've got Rodimus, Ultra Magnus, and Galvatron. All I need now is Hot Rod, Blur, and Scourge, and I'll be satisfied for this section. And up here, I have my Generation 2 mold figures, as in, like, because some of these, well, I say Generation 2 mold because some of these are not from the Generation 2 toy line, but they are recolors of Generation 2 figures. Because here we have the Robots in Disguise 2001 Ironhide and Mirage figures. These are recolors of the Generation 2. This is when my phone stops working. These guys are recolors of the Generation 2 GoBot figures, Motormouth, and Double Clutch. Speaking of Ironhide, here I have the Power Master Ironhide. This is when Hasbro was starting to reuse names, so these two Ironhides are not the same character. But here I have the Auto Roller Dirtbag. This guy is pretty much like, you roll him along and he pretty much transforms by himself. Here I have Laser Optimus Prime, he saw his box earlier. Generation 2 Megatron, this is probably one of the figures I've had the longest. And here I've got Robots in Disguise Bludgeon, who is a recolor of the hero version of Megatron, or as he's called in Europe, Archforce. And here I've got the trailer section for Laser Optimus Prime. The reason I have it here is because it normally transforms into a battle station, but because it's so big in battle station mode, I didn't have, well, I had nowhere else to put it, so I just left it here. But if you ever wanted to see Prime burning down a forest, there you go. Now at the top, here we have my Action Masters and my Micro Masters. So for my Micro Masters, here I have the Off-Road Patrol, Power Train, High Jump, Mudslinger and Tote, and the Race Car Patrol, Road Handler, Freewheeler, Swindler, and Tailspin. So these are all Micro Masters. And behind them are my Action Masters, which are Transformers that don't have the transformation ability. But no, they had these little vehicles that transform instead, or these little backpack or animal things that transform for them. So here I have Wheeljack, and I believe it's called a Turbo Racer. And here I have Blaster, I think it's called the Turbo Pack, I think. Well, Blaster wasn't included, but I put him on here just so, well, he's got somewhere to go. Here I've got Axa with his off-road cycle. And here I've got Starscream with his turbojet, which I actually have the packaging for. I also have the packaging for the Prowl, Skids, Red Alert, and Inferno reissues. A little card for Psykill, a box for Sunstreaker, and a box for Courageous. So yeah. I also have some drawings of some G1 figures. Mainly most of the Dinobots, so Grimlock, Slug as I call them, Sludge and Snarl. I would do Swoop, but I haven't found a good chance to draw him yet, so... But in the future, when I have nothing to do... But well, let's get on with my Beast figures. So yeah, Beast Wars came out after Generation 2. Pretty much, what if Transformers were furries? Okay, all cringy jokes to make you want to kill yourself aside. Beast Wars was pretty much Transformers without the vehicle modes, but instead Beast modes. So, here we have Optimus Primal, who instead of transforming into a truck, transforms into a gorilla. And Megatron, who instead of transforming into a gun, is now a T-Rex. And Hasbro has actually recently shown that they're going to be reissuing some Beast Wars figures in the future, which I am actually really excited for. And I definitely really want to get the Cheetor reissue. But before I go off on a tangent, between Primal and Megatron, here I have to combine a Magnaboss, who is a combination of Silverbolt, who is the bird section, Prowl, who's meant to be a lion, and I've got another Prowl here, and Ironhide, who is the majority of the combiner. Yeah, I've got a lot of Ironhide figures. Here, I've got the Transmetal version of Primal. Here is Bone Crusher. A duplicate Prowl. The Predacon Waspinator. My most recent Beast Wars figure, Pterosaur. And I haven't done a review on this guy yet, but I will soon, so stay tuned. And here I have a Beast Machines figure, the Viacon Mirage. I haven't done a review on this guy because, well, do you want to see why? That's why. The reason why I haven't done a review on Mirage is because translucent plastic. Happened the day I got him as well, so yeah. I might never do a review on this guy, sorry. But well, let's just continue on with my collection. Okay, now for the main attraction, my main shelves. Starting from the bottom, here we have my smaller figures, which reside in this little section here. So here I have some Omnicons from Transformers Energon, Strong Arm, Signal Flare, and Skyblast. As of right now, I don't have RC. And I also have Clocker from Cybertron, although this is actually the Japanese version. I actually have a Japanese Transformer. That's amazing. Here I have a Terracon, Battle Ravage. Here I have Swindle, Lugnuts, and Ransack, all from Cybertron. Here I have a one-step Turbochanger Hound from the last night. Power Core Combiners Huffer. And Power Core Combiners Ice Pick. So yeah. And here I've got some of my biggest figures. Energon Omega Supreme, and Cybertron Starscream. Well, they're here because I don't really have I can't even speak. I don't really have any other good place to put them. Now here I've got some of my Voyager-sized figures, if you will. So starting from front to back, like we were doing before. Here I have Armada Scavenger and his Minicon Rollbar. Armada Powerlinks Red Alert and his Minicon Longarm. Energon Ironhide. Energon Cliffjumper, although this is the Japanese release, so this is Superlink Overdrive. And one thing I like about this guy is the golden shoulder pads, which on the standards, well, on Cliffjumper, these are just yellow, so this is really special. Energon Landmine, and one of my favorite figures, Energon Bulkhead. And this is a figure I was looking for quite a long time, so I'm quite glad to have this guy in my collection. Here I've got Cybertron Evac minus his blades. Cybertron Quick Mix, and if I can find him, well, he's been knocked around a little bit, so he's off center. But there's his Minicon Strip Mine, Universe 2008 Blaster, Universe 2008 Drop Shot, Cybertron Sky Shadow, Energon Constructicon Maximus, who's another combiner. So for the torso, we have Steam Hammer, and for the arms, we have Sledge and Dust Storm, and for the legs, we have Wide Load and Bone Crusher. Here we have 2007 movie Mudflap, Energon Shock Blast, Energon Dreadwing, Armada Tidal Wave, and his Minicon Ramjet, and Armada Skywarp. So yeah, definitely a lot of figures here. And down here, this is the base for RID 2001 Optimus Prime. Speaking of Optimus, this shelf is dedicated to my Optimus Primes, Ultra Magnuses, and Megatrons. So here we have Omega Prime, which is a combination of the Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus from Robots in Disguise 2001. And well, if I find the button on his back, he does have a unique sound feature. This can be easier said than done. Yeah, locating the button can be a bit tricky at times, so excuse the awkwardness. Excuse me. And I believe I might have found it. So yeah, when you press the button, he announces his combination and his face lights up, which is pretty cool. Next to him, I've got Cybertron Optimus Prime, the Armada Deluxe Class Optimus Prime and his Minicon Overrun, Energon Deluxe Optimus Prime, 2007 movie Optimus Prime, one of the many RID 2015 Optimus Primes, and Beast Hunters Ultra Magnus. Here we got RID 2001 Megatron, Armada Galvatron and Clench, Energon Megatron, and Cyberverse Warrior Class Megatron. So yeah, that's my Primes and Megatrons. Now, the reason I don't have Laser Prime G2 Megatron Beast Wars Megatron or Primal here is because, well, I feel they fit better on my other display shelves where they are right now. I just feel that's a bit better for them. But, well, here, I've got some of my Decepticons, well, Deluxe Class Decepticons. So here, we've got Armada Sideways. I put him with my Decepticons because, well, in Armada, he's sort of neutral, though he works for Unicron, who's pretty much the, well, Unicron's not a Decepticon. He's the one who gave Megatron his Galvatron body in the original movie, so I like to think Sideways as a Decepticon. But next to him, here we have Armada Cyclonus and his Minicon Crumple Zone. Here we got Armada Demolisher. These are not Demolisher's Minicons, although these are from Armada. I can't even speak. So this is the Night Attack Minicon team. So here we have Scator, Broadside, and Fetch. I think these guys said that these guys were advertised as working with the Decepticons. Armada Thrust with Inferno, or as I like to call them, Dirge with Grapple. Energon Starscream. Energon Demolisher, who's supposed to be a new body for Armada Demolisher. Cybertron Thundercracker. Cybertron Dirt Boss. And a Creo figure, Scrapnel. Creo being Hasbro's version of Lego. So that's all my... So that's my deluxe Decepticons. So let's move on to my Autobots. So just give me a few seconds. Okay, so here we have my Autobots. So starting off, here we have Armada Hotshot and his Minicon Jolt. Armada Smokescreen, and sadly I'm missing his Minicon. Armada Blur with Incinerator. Armada Sideswipe with Nightbeat. Armada Hoist with Refute. Cybertron Landmine. Cybertron Downshift. And Cybertron Excellion. And two Creo figures, Nightbeat. Not related to this one, this is a name reuse. But Nightbeat and Fangwolf. And behind them, I've got Energon Hotshot, Energon Inferno, Energon Ronimus, Energon Prowl, Energon Downshift, who's the precursor to Cybertron Downshift, Energon Towline, Energon Stormjet, RID Prowl, who's not related to this Prowl, and Classics Ronimus, who is not related to this Ronimus. Classic Ronimus is supposed to be a new figure of G1 Hot Rods. So that's my Autobots. Now, finally, here I've got my movie figures and some Prime figures. So, here I've got 2007 movie Jazz, Camshaft, who wasn't in the movie, he was just made for the toy line. Barricade and his partner Frenzy. Bone Crusher. And Swerve from Revenge of the Fallen. And yes, he's just got wheel feet, so he can't topple over a bit easily. Here we got Rumble from Prime. And these three, Ravage, Rumble/Frenzy, and Ratbat from Full of Cybertron. And if you remember earlier, I mentioned a data disk. That's what these guys turn into. I'll show that in this guy's review. But, well, in the back here we have Ratchet, or a recolor of Ratchet from the 2007 movie. Here we have Thundercracker, Revenge of the Fallen Demolisher, and 2 Soundwave figures. This one is from Robots in Disguise, or RAD 2015. And this one is from Fall of Cybertron. And, well, pretty much, these guys can all turn into little data discs and go into his chests, and he can pretty much eject them. Just like how the G1 Soundwave, these guys can turn into cassettes, and Soundwave could eject them. So they went from rectangles to circles. But yeah, this version of Soundwave has become one of my favorite figures, actually. I just realized I actually forgot to turn around the wheels, so just excuse me again. I'm very bad at this. There we go. That's how it should be. But yeah. Now we just have one more bit to get to. And that is my Prime Wars figures. So that's Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and Power of the Primes. So here we have Combiner Wars Ironhide, Titans Return Topspin, Titans Return Brawn, who's a little Titan Master, who transforms into a figure's head, Titans Return Blur, figures of Hot Rod and Cheetor that came with a little Transformers magazine as a little gift, Power of the Primes Dreadwind, Titans Return Skytread, Combiner Wars Hotspot and Scattershot, Titans Return, what's his name? Astro Train, and Titans Return Soundwave, or in this case, the version from the Bumblebee Greatest Hits toy line. And I forgot to say what the Titan Master partners are for these guys. So with Topspin, it's Freeze Out. With Blur, it's Hyperfire. With Astro Train, it's, from what I can remember, Dark Moon. And with Soundwave, depending on the figure, it's either Sound Blaster or Doombox. But yeah, those are all my figures. Although I do also have some boxes. As here, I've got the box for Steam Hammer. If I can move Soundwave out the way. Here I've got the box for Steam Hammer, Ransack, or in this case, Ransack GTS, Battle Ravage, although in this case it's just the card back and a little name tag, Dreadwind, bits of Robots in Disguise Megatron, the 2-pack between the Prime and Megatron from Energon, Energon's Red Wing, RID Prime, Titans Return Astro Train, and Super Link Overdrive. So yeah, that's pretty much my entire collection. So did you find that interesting, or did it put you to sleep? If anything, I'm pretty sure my video put you all to sleep, but what do I know? Is there any figures here that interested you? Are there any figures here that you wish you had? Leave a comment below. Or don't. I probably doubt that you will, but But yeah, this has been my entire collection as of March 2021. April is my birthday month, so it's going to be exciting to see what figures I get with birthday money. So yeah. This has been my Transformers collection as of March 2021. And well, this is Charlie Young, signing off.